You've been around for 16 years now. How does it feel that Bowling for Soup is kind of like around the same age as a lot of the fans that are now coming to see you? Is it slightly weird that kind of like a lot of the people who are seeing you tonight probably weren't even born when you played your first gig?
You know, no, it's not weird at all. I mean, because like anybody that chooses to come and listen to our music like that is fantastic to us, you know, and it's something that it's something that's come up, you know, a lot actually, and it's like, you know, who are we to decide who's going to listen to our music? You know, it's like if you like it, then that's great. You know, it doesn't matter if you're 4 or 14 or 45. You know, just like we're just happy to have people that are interested in having us do what we do.
Yeah. Oh. Is it good? Because obviously that it means you've got kind of like a ever-changing kind of like fan base, because of you're getting, you know, new people all the time that are seeing you and buying the old albums and kind of keeping Bowling for Soup going.
Well, one of the cool things now that we see is like, you know, not necessarily so much here in this country, but like in the States, people that were coming to see us 15, 16 years ago, you know, that are our age, maybe a little bit older, are now bringing their kids to the shows, and so it's like, you know, we have whole families that are making it, you know, Bowling for Soup event. You know, we in the summertime in the States, we have like families that take their summer vacation, and as a group they go to 5, you know, Bowling for Soup shows in a row, and like follow us down the East Coast or something like that, and that's really, really cool.
Okay, what's the plan for every album? You've had a different version of Belgium on it. What's the plan for the next version?
We've got, well, I couldn't tell you what the plan for the next one is because they're all surprises, but there are still 3 or 4 more that we've discussed that haven't been done yet, so they'll be coming.
How's work going on the next album? Because it's been about a year and a bit since Sorry for Parting came out.
It's done. It's recorded, totally finished, and it'll be out the early part of 2011. So.
How does the album sound different to the last album?
It's very much it's kind of a core Bowling for Soup album. Like it's very much like a 2002 to 2004 Bowling for Soup sound. You know, we in the last couple of albums, you know, we've gotten very much into the studio process and all the tricks and trinkets and toys that you can use while you're in there, and you know, this still has a few of those things, but it's back to more just like 2 guitars, bass, and drums. You know, but having heard all the stuff after it's finished, like I think sonically, from the music nerd standpoint of the whole thing, it's like it's the best sounding album that we've ever made, as far as just like, you know, guitar tones and drum sounds and whatnot, and it's cool because we did it really, really quickly. You know, Jarrett and I did the acoustic tour over in the UK here last April, and he went home and wrote these songs in about 3 weeks. We went into the studio in June and recorded all the band stuff. We did 15 songs in 14 days in studio, and then he flew to LA and spent 3 or 4 more days, you know, just doing finishing touches on it and whatever. And so it was very, very, very quick and very fast and very hard paced in the studio, and you know, and well, and even several of those 14 days we lost due to equipment problems. We went through 3 Macs while doing it on Pro Tools, like the studio. I don't know. We were just blowing up computers left and right, and you know that'll shut you down for an entire day. And when you're attempting to do that many songs in that short amount of time, you know, to lose one day is just completely detrimental. And we honestly didn't think that we were gonna get it all done, but we did. It like down to the point, like I don't live in Texas anymore. And so the day that I was scheduled to fly back home to South Carolina, I'm doing the last of my vocals, and literally finished my last vocal part, had 15 minutes to get my stuff together, jumped in the car, drove to the airport, and flew home.
Is there a title for the album yet? Or?
It will be announced
right.
soon, dude.
Cool. Okay. Obviously, you've been in a band for the last 16 years. How do you feel like the music industry has changed, like with like being on different labels and with being on obviously like the internet? Do you think it's a better time to be a band now than it was when you first started?
It's a more interesting time right now, I think. Like when our career kind of really started to take off, like, you know, around 1999, 2000. That was a very pivotal time in the music industry, and the whole digital thing started to rear its head, and you know we were screaming up and down, you know, at our record label, like, we got to get on this. This is happening whether you like it or not, and it's gonna happen, and this is where this stuff is gonna go. And you know, the record labels, and still, I guess they're now embracing it, but you know, up until a couple of years ago, we're still just no, we sell CDs, and that's what we do. We don't do this digital thing, and now having been through all that, and it has now become a completely digital age, music-wise. You know, I think it's a cool time to be a band, because with things like MySpace and other websites, you know, dedicated to music, kind of like that, you know, anybody can share their music with an infinite amount of people now, and so it's very, very easy to be heard, instead of, you know, as it used to be, you have to be on the radio, or you know, you have to have good press coverage or whatnot, and it's like you can get your music to people without having record labels now, you know, and so that's a very, very interesting thing that is happening, and it'll be cool to see how that all plays out over the next several years, you know, with bands and labels, and what roles, like, you know, the way that the role of the record label plays will change, you know, because it will have to eventually to adapt to the climate, you know.